Hey guys, it's a market update. The selling is done. It's finished. It's over. You can see that in the data. Distribution from OGs much, much lower. And that's coinciding with a really nice recovery here for Bitcoin. We broke through this first level here, which is obviously good news. Let's hope we finish the week there as well. Now, the bad news is what we really need to break, the really important level is right here, which is the 50-week moving average and this support and resistance zone. Guess what price it is? 100,000. We still aren't over it. Do you know how important this level is? 100K. 6-digit Bitcoin. You could just be around this for years, multiple years. It's not the 4-year cycle. It's not this. It's nothing apart from literally pure 100% human psychology around 100K. That's my level. I'm going to sell some. And you just have to get through that entire 100K selling. A complete and total redistribution of the network around this level. So just forget the lines on charts at this point. 100K is the psychological level that we have to break through. And as soon as we break through it, then it's just open air until whatever other price people want to trade at, right? 150, 180, 200, I think. As long as the macro holds up, which I think it does. Now, I've made my macro updates for the course. If you've got the course, go and watch them. I posted them for you. There is a discount for the next couple of weeks. Just type code Bitcoin, you get 20% off. Just set up your investment portfolio. 300 videos on how to do that. I'll link it down in the description below. The Bitcoin network that we know is finished. We can't control the price anymore. It's big OGs, it's big sellers, traders, funds, other investors, corporates. You can very clearly see that. So the OG Bitcoin holders, this is just distribution from large accounts, right? Coming down. So the distribution seems to be done. It seems to be like that 85, 90 level is an area where people say, no, I'm not going to sell any there. You need to build up the price back up to 100. 100 is my level, but 85, no, it's a bit far away. Again, you can see long-term net position change. Lots of sellers here. That must have been, 10-10 rejigging of accounts, lots of losses made, sell some Bitcoin to obviously fund those losses, or short Bitcoin because you had to sell the altcoin, so you take a kind of hedge out some of your exposure there. That seems to be stopping. It seems to be over, and so we can just rise a little bit. Are there going to be sellers coming back in at 100K? We're going to have to find that out, right? But at some point, there's going to be so much of the Bitcoin network that would have changed hands at 100 that becomes the floor, right? If you've just got 20, 30, 40% of the Bitcoin network changing hands, at 100K, and everyone's at 100K, eventually they say, well, I'm not going to be selling this, right? And that money that's coming in, they don't need to sell. Strategy doesn't need to sell. Big pension funds and investors do not need to sell. Why would they sell down? There's going to be no bear market. The economy is growing. Commodities, which usually precede big economic growth in GDP and everything else, are booming. We know that interest rates are going to come down, whether they come down fast or slow. They want to print money. They want to run the economy hot in the US. Where's the bear market, right? Short-term supply and profit. This is from James Check here. Look, we had this low here, like previously in the cycle. We're now recovering again. If we recover all the way up to the top, that's a new all-time high, right? Look, it's choppy, but we're in this asset. There's money flowing in. It's not a bear market. It's not coming, right? It's not coming now. Look, what really affects the Bitcoin price now is TradFi. That is it. So you have company treasuries here, so Bitcoin treasuries like Strategy, ETF net flow, very highly correlated here, right? As money comes into those, Bitcoin goes up. As money flows out of those, Bitcoin goes down. Now you could say which one leads the other. If obviously Bitcoin goes up, then more speculation into those as well. So look, TradFi money rules, and they're happy to pay 100. They're happy to buy at 85, but the sellers clearly 85, 90-ish. They don't want to be selling there, and there's a lot of buying pressure there as well. So it's just this 100K level. Eventually it will break, right? Eventually people will forget that. Time is our friend here. And in 10 years time, so remember that 100K level where we had to go around that for 2 years? Wasn't that fun? Eventually enough of the Bitcoin network is going to flow into these corporates, into these ETFs, into these pension funds, into these state funds. They don't sell, right? They do not sell. So this is great news. Do more here, right? 100K is the level, 100K is the base at this point. And there's a big disconnect between Bitcoin price now and other assets and where Bitcoin should be, in my opinion. So this is from Julian Vitale. NASDAQ 100 follows global liquidity, right? It's pretty simple, very, very highly correlated. Well, what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin sold off. Was it the 10-10 thing? Did the market just get exhausted? Was it the 4-year cycle sellers and miners saying, we need to sell now because we want to fund mining rigs in the future? Fine, fair enough. But Bitcoin is not going away. Bitcoin is in demand. money's flowing back into Bitcoin as it underperforms other assets. So obviously people say, well, just take some profits there, put it into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is desirable. Bitcoin is staying around. It's not going to go anywhere. So when you've got underperformance of the best performing asset, that's where you make money and you buy. It's just reset at 100. 100 is the reset. That's where institutions are absolutely happy to buy. So much volume has been done at this level. So 100 is, I think, is the reset and the floor actually going forward. And we'll break it eventually. Bitcoin versus all of these, right? DXY, the dollar index, rates, etc. Right? There's a huge disconnect here. So we could be in for a catch up. Why are we going to underperform and then underperform even more? The asset treasuries have already fallen like 99%, most of them. Like strategy already had its, 60, 70% downturn. Now money's flowing back in. So I just see great news. I think the economy's expanding. Commodities going higher is actually good news because it signals massive economic and GDP growth. Lower rates in the US would help us out a lot. It's going to be a lot slower if they don't cut rates and print money, but the direction is very, very clear to me. Bitcoin has underperformed. That's when you should buy it. That's when no one's interested. And that's when you should buy it. It's an irony that just carries on over and over and over. I understand it, actually. I do understand it, but also just cannot ever understand how you have the best performing asset and it underperforms and then people lose interest in it rather than gain interest in that. Maybe it's human nature. It always happens. And then when Bitcoin does catch up, everyone will be interested in it again. And if it does do that, that's probably the time that you should actually take some profits if you've got some trades. The US has made some inroads into its deficit for sure. So that's important for the world and for us as Bitcoin holders, right? Even if you're not in the US. But the deficit still remains. Tariff revenue is growing. It's quite large now. And the Supreme Court hasn't ruled yet on that. So let's see what they say. How can they turn this back, right? And this is at some point national security, right? You can't just blow out the deficit so large that the currency and the economy collapses, right? So what are they going to rule there? They've pushed it back and pushed it back. This is important, actually. This is a national security issue, to be honest, right? And so very, very important. And I think Polymarket has odds of them turning back the tariffs at like 70% or so. I think it's way, way lower than that. Why would America shoot itself in the foot? So let's see. Maybe they keep them, and I think that's good for the deficit as well. And the outlays are still way higher than the the receipts. So I don't know what they're going to do here, but if they can just continue to slow this down, the really important thing here is that this becomes a level which is manageable and is slowly reducing, so that the 10-year and the 30-year rates in the US can remain stable and come down a little bit. Like if 10-year rates in the US are kind of like with a 3 handle, 3%, something like that, just get on with it at that point. Now, if people are scared and they're thinking 4, 5, 6, 7% because the long end blows out because the deficit is widening, that's not good for anyone. But if 10-year rates can soften a little bit, that's actually much better news. So I think they're doing about as good a job as they can, but look, the deficit still remains. The boom in commodities right here, right, is usually foreshadowing a massive economic expansion. Now, Bitcoin is further out on the risk curve than those, right? So you get commodities actually going first in an economic cycle as people, use futures and forwards to buy what they need. And then that obviously comes into economic growth, PMIs rising, right? Bitcoin has a very high correlation to that. Bitcoin is further out in the risk curve. So when people actually have this employment, start making money again, start feeling good about themselves, and they start obviously having reserves that they earn and they can store that in assets. That's how the economic cycle works. I think we're still early stages, right? Retail is gone because retail is down here, right? Like jobs and the economic growth and manufacturing PMIs is very low. As that starts to pick up, that's very good news for BTC. BTC is later in the cycle because it's longer duration, right? So it doesn't actually, boom at the start of the cycle with commodities. It goes way later. So again, that's good news for me. You can see here globally, the CRB Raw Industrials Index has been moving higher, which is typically a sign of improving economic conditions. Where's the recession? Be bullish, right? US monetary policy is going to be coming down over the rest of this year. This is what people think. I think it's going to come lower than this once they boot Powell out. What a mess that is politically, but they'll boot him out. They'll get this way lower than the market expects, which is also a bullish surprise. You don't want to trade commodities though. I know a lot of people are looking at gold and silver. It's amazing that people focus on the thing that is volatile right now rather than taking a step back and saying, what's the thing that's going to outperform over 10 years? Longer term thinking about a 10-year time horizon is where the money is made. Not, well, I've got to trade gold now because gold had its best year ever, or I have to trade silver now because it's volatile right now. That's for trading, maybe. Very speculative, but you make the money, 10-year time horizon. You cannot buy commodities. And a lot of people ask me this. Commodities, over the last decade plus, are the only asset class that have gone down in dollar terms. And think how much dollar printing has happened to push other asset prices higher. And commodities have gone down. The only one in the whole world. You do not buy and hold commodities. They're awful. That's why they're called commodities, right? Because they're abundant and undesirable. So commodities don't hold their value. Yes, you can trade volatility. That's what you trade, right? Fair enough. 10-year time horizon, what do you want to be in? The best performing asset here is Bitcoin, which underperformed last year. That is a sweet spot where everyone just says, not interested in that now. That's where you make your money. So 20% discount for the course that expires in a couple of weeks. I updated it in January with my updates. If you get the course, you get all updates for free forever as well. And Bybit deposit bonus if you trade crypto down in the description below, up to $30,000. I'm James, this is Money Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.